Facebook, what is up? James and Alma Curran here. Launch and Prosper, episode 7, I think, something like that.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
7, 8.
I always figure it out after the fact. We got a cool topic today. We're gonna get to just a sec, but welcome.
Welcome, everyone.
Glad you're here.
Welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're gonna hang out with us live via recording, whatever that looks like for you on this Thursday or whatever day it is that you're joining us.
The people that are hearing this now are only hearing it on Thursday.
Yeah. Unless they've watched the recording.
Well, we're gonna cut this part out, so they're not gonna hear this part. I always cut it off. Cool. Let's get going. Ready?
All right.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Launch and Prosper podcast. I'm James. This is Alma. Together we run Linchpin Funnels, a full service agency that does for you the thing you don't want to do, which is build a Linchpin funnel system. You want one, but you don't want to build one. We do it for you. And we come live every week and record this podcast episode talking about a bunch of different things related to startups and family and, encountering personal development opportunities, all kinds of stuff. And today, I had this idea where, thinking about our dream clients and where they are and some of the pain points that they have. And one of them is, with economic times being what they are, there's, all the indicators show that things are actually pretty good, but there seems to be a lot of lingering doubt in the world about the economy. And so there's uncertainty in people's minds, even if there isn't uncertainty in the actual numbers of the economy. And perception matters. So the conversation that we're going to have today is around what we can do to combat price resistance, specifically with a subscription.
Yeah.
So, we're into this Linchpin idea. Linchpin is a marketing framework that focuses on continuity or subscription or whatever you want to call it, where you're delivering continuous value and getting continuous value back. And that's just a strong opinion that the framework has. And if you're selling a one-off thing, it kind of doesn't work. And there's good reason for it. There's a lot of reasons for it. And we've done some research on it and we're going to present that to you. But let's talk about the problem a little bit. Have we ever, as entrepreneurs, had the idea to sell a $2,000 course?
Yeah.
Yes. And we attempted to sell that course.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't sell it. No. I mean, we were babies, right? We were just first getting into this world.
We saw the value. We thought it was amazing.
Definitely saw the value, thought it was amazing. There was going to be all this stuff, that we're going to accompany it. Meal prep guides and group coaching calls.
It is amazing. It is good stuff. It's, whoever didn't take it thus far missed out on getting the health and vitality and strength that their family and everybody within their community deserves to get from them. So yes, the value is there. We believe that as creators.
Your stuff is good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the recipients of this, that's a whole different thing. That's an entirely different experience. And I think that's really where we're also going to go today. Putting ourselves in our audience's shoes. And we hear this all the time, yet we have a habit of turning it on ourselves. It's like, okay, my goal was 20K this month or 100K this month or whatever it was. We could just kind of focus on our goal and what do we want? What do we need? And kind of like the audience is there to serve us instead of the other way around. And that's really where we miss the mark. So talking about subscription is really focusing on what the audience wants, what your ideal clients want.
Yeah. And part of the reason why that's true is because you get the opportunity for feedback. Having done a lot of work in the software realm, one of the biggest ideas is this notion of feedback. The feedback when you're dealing with code, you want to write tests that give you feedback to let you know whether you're doing a good job. You want to get feedback. You want to get data from your audience to find out if they're liking it. You want to get feedback from the database when you're stress testing and to find out, can this application hold 1,000 concurrent users, or do I need to, it's that feedback to let you know whether you're on the right track or not. And that's one thing that's great about a subscription or a membership or a software as a service, where you're getting that feedback. And it's sort of less certain in one respect, because you don't get the full $2,000 or whatever the price of your core offer is up front. You get it kind of in pieces. But the great thing about it is you get to shift and pivot and serve continuously, because you've got that feedback. So that's one of the benefits of a subscription.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the problems of subscription here. The problems of lack of subscription, right? Not using the subscription model. And a few things come up for me. And here's, for me personally, the problem with not doing subscription, or the problem with opting for bulk, is, in my experience as a consumer, I've taken two major courses come to my mind right now. I took 2 online business building courses from huge names, from huge personal development and marketing names. And
who was it?
There was one specifically where I took a course from Marie Forleo, her B School, when I first started.
Yep.
And there was another course where I took that was actually from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi together. And both of those I paid up front. And what happened, the courses work only if you work, right? So yeah, full disclosure, I clearly didn't work as hard, because it did leave a bad taste in my mouth. But at the same time, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, this $2,000 or whatever it was. Okay, I paid off that credit card bill. That was a big loss. Oh, I don't want to face my mistake, right? I feel like I just stole $2,000 from my family, and I made a mistake here, and I don't want to look at that thing. And I don't even remember my user IDs. I don't remember my passwords. I don't remember anything, and I don't want to associate myself with any of that. And that's really the problem as a creator. That when we started creating this subscription model, I don't want my customers to have that. Whether it is the customer's fault or not, I have to take full responsibility for that. And I don't want my customer, my paying customer, to say, oh, I can't even face the mistake I made. And sure, we can point a finger at the customer and say, you know what, it's your fault. You didn't follow through. You did, but that doesn't do anything good in this world. So now I still continue years later. I still feel guilty that I in my head stole that money from my family and gave it to somebody else. Yes, I feel awful. But that also kind of, for the person who created that course, that doesn't really speak volumes for them either, because they're not in my inbox. They're not reaching out to me. They're not checking in with me. They're just basically took my money and left, right? And it's kind of, and of course they did not intend to do that, but that's kind of where as a consumer, this is when we started this show this morning. We talked about looking at it from the consumer's point, through your audience's eyes. So as audience of these, or paying customer of these courses, I'm like, oh, what the hell, man? Why are you not helping me out here? Right?
Yeah, Marie is not going live in that group.
And she may be, but I'm not getting notifications. Yeah. I don't know whether she's going or not.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, as a consumer, you get dropped if we do the bulk thing. That's the whole point behind my rant on these. I don't blame the people. I blame the model. So these bulk purchases,
like kind of one and done, like one time purchases, right? Because you mentioned the word bulk, and we do in Linchpin, we have this notion of bulk, which is a kind of a hybrid model that we can kind of get into. So one of the ways to give, because one good thing about the one-time purchase is like, okay, it's done. It's done. This problem is solved now. I know that as long as the internet exists and power exists and electricity, the robots haven't taken over and made us slaves, I know that I can go get the resource that I need from this thing. I've got it. Maybe I can even download it, so if the internet goes away, I still have a copy of it. That's fine. So there's a bit of certainty that you get from that is valuable. That's a thumbs up for that. But you can take that same idea, same feeling of certainty, and provide that with your membership or with your subscription. How? You offer 12 months for the price of 10. And you do that as an upsell to your membership in your MIPI funnel when you're bringing people on board. And you can upsell them that later. You get 6 months down the road. Hey, have you been having success with it? Maybe you haven't. You want to continue to get it at cheaper than what you're paying right now? Here's an opportunity for you. So it's a way to have both.
For sure. Yeah. But let's talk about the actual benefits to the audience. We're talking about the audience.
Right.
What does your audience get from you through a subscription-based program?
Well, I didn't have a clear picture for all the different things that you get. So we did a little bit of research and found some great articles that we can actually add to the show notes. But one of the main things that we have is this notion of convenience. And it's because we get confronted with so many decisions on a day-to-day basis. There's so much decisions about, there's so many decisions to be made, but also so many choices per decision. So the cognitive load that we encounter today as modern humans is like crazy different. It's crazy overwhelming compared to how it used to be when we were forming these bodies and these minds. So the notion of convenience is one. It's like, okay, I know that I've made this choice to subscribe to this thing, and whether that's paper towels coming to your house from Amazon, or subscription to supplements, your B12 vitamins or whatever, or it's like this resource for marketing help. This thing is taken care of. We subscribe to this woman, Brittany Long. She has a really great subscription for copywriting using ChatGPT. AI Copy Club, she calls it. It's $9 a month. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't have to go to other sources to find out how to get good at copywriting with AI, because I know I've got this thing. So whenever I see new offers come up or new ads, I'm just like, okay, problem solved. I don't have to go there because I've already got that. That's what convenience means from our perspective as a consumer. That's the convenience that you can provide to your customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the delivery, right? This person has done all the work that needs to be done on this topic, and they're just conveniently delivering it to me. I don't have to go out there and seek it. And obviously then they have to deliver, right? If they do, it kind of holds us accountable too, because now if we don't deliver, they go away. They cancel, right? And so somebody's paying you $10, $100, $200, whatever that is, a month for the convenience. And if they at some point begin to question whether this is convenient or not, they're on their way out. So doing, and this is something for us as well, doing these surveys, checking in, making sure that people still, if you promise convenience, hey, do you still feel like this product is convenient for you, right? And whatever as James builds these, the VSLs, the funnels and all of this, he needs to, whatever he's putting in there for you, we have to make sure that we follow up with the client and say, hey, remember that thing that I sold you on? Do you still feel like that is true, right? And if you promise convenience, then we got to make sure that they still feel like they're receiving convenience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you talked about delivery a lot. And that's that's the next point really in our list, is like this notion of, it's actually anticipation of delivery. So when you get a notification on your phone or email saying like, oh, your delivery is happening today, it creates this sense of anticipation, like this psychological reward is about to happen. And the anticipation, when someone opens a box of pizza, your mouth starts watering, right? I mean, there's this classic lemon test. You can see like a picture of a lemon, your mouth can water. We have this anticipatory nature within us. So with a subscription, you can hijack that and provide that level of anticipation. And it's actually something that we don't do really well right now, that we're going to level up on, is letting people know in advance what's coming.
Like this particular live episode, but nobody knows.
Right.
We didn't tell anybody that the delivery is on its way.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have been consistent with it, and people, if they can build in their own anticipation, but we haven't teased it. Yeah. So that's a level up for us. In our membership, we're live multiple times per week, and we don't always have notifications and anticipatory like emails going out ahead of time to let people know. So like stuff like that, they're just opportunities for us. But the point is that's one of the values of subscription is, that this goodness is coming to you.
Yeah.
Whether it's, it's a little bit goofy, but like, I love these protein bars that we get, and they taste so good. And when the Amazon delivery is like, lets me know that it's coming today, I'm just like, yes, as soon as I get home, like I know it's going to be there. As soon as I finish my workout, I'm crushing one of those protein bars today, so there's something that we can use.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's that certainty that we get from the delivery notification. Yeah, it's coming, right? Because that's what it is. For us, we have a habit of living in the past or living in the future, and of course, past always brings some negative notion with it, but we're not in the present very much, right? So we're always seeking that thing to look forward to anticipate, right? Some sort of delivery is coming our way. So why not help our clients out, right? Why not help our audience out? Because we know that about human nature. That's just how we work, right? We're like, or either back there or we're moving forward. So help them out, right?
Yeah.
Join them on that. They're already doing it. So just throw something else in there.
Yeah. And, we know that to get the sale, it requires 7, 8, 9, 10 appearances of your face in your message before the sale happens. Mm-hmm. With your subscription, you're selling your subscription continuously. So these notifications letting people know that cool stuff is coming is another way to keep selling that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Next one is certainty and dependability. And we've sort of touched on that. I feel like this is one that kind of weaves its way through the entire notion, because the notion of subscription means I'm subscribing, I'm opting into things coming to me continuously. So it kind of goes without saying, but part of the value in that is that it's dependable. Like pre-COVID, I didn't care about paper towels and toilet paper, but you know what? After that, I made sure that I had a subscription of that stuff coming to the house, once every 6 weeks or on whatever frequency, just because I don't want to think about that anymore. That was annoying. It was annoying when everyone lost their mind and you couldn't buy that stuff in the store, So now I have this certainty and dependability of knowing that I've got a supply coming to the house, and if something happens, I got a couple boxes in the garage, so like that problem is covered.
And really, in our industry here, as we serve our clients, James and the team, they work really hard on helping our clients put together a package where it just an offer stack, as we call it, right? So when we tell them that, hey, you're going to learn this and this and this and this and this in this course or in this membership, if we have done a really good job of developing trust and commitment to each other, right? Because it's a two-way street. It's not all about, oh, will the client like me? I have to like the client too, right? So when we first take on a new client, we also go through an exercise where we make sure that you want to work with a specific person. And And when we make that commitment to them and they trust us, then that dependability, right, that it just is. Because let's say if you are, since you're talking about the copywriting,
Yeah.
If you know, if she did a good job, if Brittany
Yeah.
did a good job at selling this course to us and doing the offer stack, then we know that anything copy and AI related, she's going to cover that. So we can depend on her. So now all the other courses and I don't know, memberships and whatever is being thrown our way through social media, we're like, oh, Brittany got that. I can depend on that. I don't have to worry about all the other things, right? And then of course she has to deliver.
And she does. She's got something that just came out about. She had this notion of building your own AI team, and now the landscape has changed because we can create GPTs now. And she just came out with an update. It's like, okay, that's how we did it. This is how we do it now. Here it is, solved for you. You can depend on me.
Yeah. Yes. So that's that, you know, and people will pay for that. We pay for it, right? We pay for that certainty, that dependability, because we don't want to be always kind of in that stop and go mode. It's like, oh, I need to find some AI copy course. It's like, no, I did that, check, I'm going on to the next thing, right? So when we can trust, when we have that certainty that this particular thing is taking care of our needs, we can go on and meet other needs.
Yeah, perfect. The next one is it applies to probably half the audience, and that one is that of tangibility. This one is specifically to if your subscription or your continuity includes a physical thing delivered to someone. So if you're in the supplement space or the box of the month or like t-shirt of the month or any of that kind of stuff where you're delivering a physical good, then there's this tangibility. We're lucky enough to work with a client who is a glass artist, and part of what she does is she and her team make beautiful original works of art that get shipped to the client's door. And we were privileged enough, and I share this in our social feed, to see the result of that tangibility and how impactful it was emotionally to one of her subscribers, where she got the box and it was happened to be her birthday, and she was like, it's my birthday, I'm a VIP member, here's what I got. And she showed the postcards, and she showed the glass magnets, and she showed the original, I think it was a snail. They had different seasons, the glass blowers, and you know, they have the pumpkins in October and the stars and the Christmas. They have like all these different things depending on what season it is. Right now it's snails. But she got this physical thing in the mail and was so happy, and she's going to add it to her collection. There's just this notion of tangibility that the digital only world doesn't have. So that's definitely an advantage to a physical component.
Yeah. And you know, and even if you're selling something virtual, you know, the tangibility can happen on a monthly basis or something. I don't know, like with us, like let's say, or it doesn't even, I don't even know how often they do it. But for example, like with ClickFunnels, you know, not too long ago, we got like this giant blanket in the mail, and we're like, blanket, Russell, what blanket? Like, we're not in a blanket business, you're not in a blanket business, what are we doing getting a blanket, right? And but here's the thing with the blanket. Yesterday I was gonna wash the blanket. I should have had this blanket to kind of promote Russell's business too. But yeah, and our daughter, she's like, oh, can you wash it? And she's reading the care instructions. This kid doesn't even know what a washing machine is, but all of a sudden she cares about the care instructions for this blanket, right? And after I washed it, she's like, oh, is it still soft? And then, can you really dry it? Should you put it in dryer? Like, why is she's never turned on the dryer, and she's like, let me do it. So that tangibility, even if you are a software company, if you are a digital course, there is something tangible that your client can get, even if it's not on a monthly basis, even if it's infrequent, if it kind of create some emotion, even if it's a confusion, it's like, oh, so this is important. I care about this enough to even be confused about it, right? So it just becomes this thing. Like, now I don't want to cancel it. Not that we're talking about it, but I don't know what he's going to send me next. I don't know. It could be a freaking parrot for all I know, right? Because you kind of get that tangibility, even if it's not a monthly, like a set frequency. So
yeah, I'm now imagining red, white, and blue parrots getting shipped to
exactly
people's doorsteps with the gear logo on it.
Yeah,
That'd be rad.
yeah.
Okay, so the next one is something that we leverage a lot, and that is one of community. Belonging is a basic human need. Your offer solves a particular problem for a specific person in a specific niche. You get more than one of those specific people in that specific niche, and you've got a community. Even if it's just you and one customer, that's a community of two, right? But as soon as you get 5, 10, 50, 100,000, 5,000 people in a group that are all in the same niche, there's this feeling of belonging. And it's one of the most fundamental human needs that we have.
For sure. Community. And for you as somebody who is creating that community, you have a responsibility to that community. You have, you kind of, well, I don't know for you, but I'm going to speak for us. And I would love to get your input in the comments. But for me, when I'm serving a community, it kind of, I don't know, I've had jobs for 14 years prior to going on to an entrepreneurial journey. So when you go to a job, and I know we frequently bring this topic up, but when I was in a job, I thought about myself, even if I was in a leadership position most of my career. I frequently thought of me and kind of like, I have to go to work. I can't wait until it's 5 o'clock. Right? What and everything that happens between 8 and 5. But when I started creating a community, there's a sense of I that just disappears because I no longer belong to me. I belong to this community. And I have developed this belief that if I belong to the community and we are a community, you belong to the community too. So all of a sudden on this particular topic, there is no individuality there, right? We're all together in this, serving the same group of people through our unique gifts. And it just kind of eliminates that selfish nature that I had developed over the years. So,
and what's the value of a community? Why is it important to have community?
Well, community, it gives you that sense of belonging, right?
You don't feel alone, right?
You don't feel alone. You don't feel like you're on your own.
Yeah, you can go to someone, you have a problem, and you can go to your community and say, hey, anyone else seeing this? I'm seeing this. Anyone else seeing that?
Yeah, absolutely. And then as a creator of that community, you get excited. You're like, yes,
they're talking.
Yeah. You know, and it just, I remember like when I would get like the first comment, somebody would respond to my question. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. This is amazing.
Give them so much love back in return.
Yeah. And it just no longer is about you. It's just all about this person values this community and let me serve them more. I don't know, since even though entrepreneurship can be a lonely journey, especially if you come from a group of people who don't necessarily practice entrepreneurship, but all of a sudden you no longer feel lonely because you find your people and you belong to your group, and you belong to the people who are following this particular movement that you have created. Your purpose is to serve them. It's something that we can't take for granted. It's the most valuable aspect of this. I think it's the most valuable aspect of any movement.
Yeah, it's that tribal community nature. I know that we're a unit. You can also get this like us versus them mentality, which doesn't have to be like super combative, but it could be like just protective of like, hey, there's stuff out there that we don't like because we share these values, so we're going to stick together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just happens, we are part of this incredible community in real life. Not all of our communities are virtual, but we have this beautiful community within Asheville Community Yoga. If you ever come to Asheville, you have to go to Asheville Community. Asheville Community Yoga is Asheville, and the other way around. Yeah. And we just were talking about a couple of days ago, even though we're there twice a week or once a week, a couple of days ago, we're like, hey, we haven't had a potluck in a long time. And it's like, well, why didn't they do one? So it's, we eat 3 meals a day, and we never forget to eat, and we have access to all the food that we want. But we're like, oh, what happened to our potlucks? We haven't had one since Christmas, Yeah. So we want to eat with our community, right? So it just, and it requires that dedication to that community to continue to create those events, right, for the community.
Yes. Moving on to the next topic, it is perceived value. And the notes here is that the cost of individual purchases over time far exceeds the monthly or yearly subscription fee. So in Russell's world, we talk about adding value. We have the value stack and all the bonuses and all the things. So perceived value isn't a foreign concept to us, but it gets to be specified and delivered every single month. They're always getting more value than what they're paying every single month. And that needs to be true in order for them to stick around. But because that's true, there's this continual feeling of saving money.
Yeah. Yeah. And that perceived value, that's saving money is kind of, let's say if you're selling a $2,000 course and now you switch to the membership, which is, let's say, $97 a month. It is potential, you as a creator, it's going to take you 20 months to make up for that, right? Mm-hmm. From one person. And sure, $2,000 at once sounds much sweeter, right? $2,000 versus $97 a month. But what it does to again, we started this with the audience's perspective in mind. So what it does for the audience, it says to them, hey, I could get this valuable course, and I could achieve, instead of paying $2,000 for it, I could achieve this in 6 months, right? I could take everything from this course in a 6-month time frame, and I could save $1,400. So there's that, right? It's like I can get all of that, even though, let's say when we do offer stack, we get, it's like, 10xing it, right? It's like, this would normally cost you $20,000, but it's going to cost you $2,000 instead, right? 90% savings. But now if we go to $97 a month, so the audience says, you know what? Not only am I not paying $20,000 for all the value, but I'm not even paying $2,000 because in 6 months I can get it all, right? So they really feel like they're hitting a jackpot. And some of them could do that in 6 months, right? Some of them can achieve that. But if they leave 14 months early, they reach the next step.
FOMO.
Yes.
Fear of missing out. So
that blanket.
What's the next version of the blanket? Dude, we talk about this blanket all the time. It's like this, it's like this family member now. It is the most comfortable, weird, giant, fuzzy blanket that you could ever imagine, and we're so grateful for it. But yeah, it's the fear of missing out. It's the regular updates, the new additions, the exclusive content. It can create a sense of urgency, especially once you have a taste of it. You don't want to leave. I don't want to miss out on this. Even if, I find that, even amongst our members, we have people that aren't necessarily making a bunch of progress, but they love the idea of being part of the community, and they don't want to leave that, especially for the founding members. I was talking to one of them recently who it's like, yeah, I really want to, get more out of it. And I will, but, basically she just said, like, I'm not going to leave because I have a founding member status, which reminds me, we need to add badges to our community so we can recognize our founding members. But yeah, it's this notion of like missing out on something valuable if they don't subscribe.
Yeah. Cause then, if they leave and they come back and they lose that badge or they lose that status, now they no longer feel important, right? And they have to kind of like earn their way in, or they have to earn their way in a different course. So it's and they don't know, like maybe like the next month you're going to be hosting a virtual celebration of all the founding members, and they're going to miss out. And they were so close, they were 2 feet from gold, right? And it's so it just it's just really working with human emotions, and it's not tricking humans into this. It's knowing that this is how they're going to do things anyways, so you might as well take the responsibility and be the one to deliver it to them.
Yep. This last point that we have is commitment and consistency, and this makes a ton of sense. Once a person commits to something like a subscription, they are more likely to continue the behavior to remain consistent with their initial decision. So one of the great bits of leverage that you have with a membership is the idea of like, it's just a month to month. You can cancel if you want to. But once someone gets on that path, they're going to want to stay consistent with their identity. They signed up because they wanted the identity transformation, and your solution helps with that identity transformation. So the idea of canceling that and giving up, they don't want that. They want to keep going forward. So because of that, they're going to want to remain consistent with that identity and stick with your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't really matter if you have a course that you are valuing at $47 a month or $4,700 a month, whatever that is for you, it's right. It's the right price for this particular experience for your client or for your audience. And it requires you to provide that convenience, to provide that anticipation, to provide that perceived value, to provide that that excitement for those who have FOMO, right? People like me, and for you to remain committed to consistency, right? So it's just kind of all the things that you are hitting with people, you have to be willing to provide that first.
That's it. So that was it for the topic we wanted to cover today. But one of the things I really wanted to drive home, because this is actionable and really valuable to course creators and people that are out there, coaches, course creators, people that want to provide value through this kind of fixed course. One of the real benefits that doesn't get talked about a whole lot is this notion of access. $2,000. Let's say your core offer, your course is $2,000. It's a lot of money up front. And yes, those who pay attention. Totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. But sometimes you get people who are ready to go, but they're not ready to go financially. So if you can break things down into $97 a month increments, that provides access to so many more people. So your message as the course creator, your movement, your problem that you're solving, the thing that you're doing to level up the frequency of the planet, because that's why you're here, is to improve the world, right? You get to reach more people. That's one of the real benefits of doing it this way as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is something that we do. We've done it for many, many people. And some people would say, because working with James one-on-one is an expense that not everybody can afford, which we don't take that lightly. We absolutely understand that most people cannot do the one-on-one with James and cannot have him walk this path with them, which is why we created the monthly subscription. But when we work with our clients our high ticket clients, as we refer to the group of people that we add high ticket value to.
Yes.
Absolutely. Most people say to us, you guys are crazy. Like, this is...
Should have charged double.
Should have charged double. Yeah. You're going to want to charge me double. We get comments like this all the time. But when we work with these clients, they would say something like, well, how long is it going to take me to recover this expense? Well, it can take you a while for sure, like depending on what you are offering. If you would normally charge $2,000 and you charge $97 a month, so it would take you 20 months to recover it from one person. But like James said, this allows you to get more people in and possibly get your $2,000 immediately just by getting as many people as you can into this, understanding that not everybody's going to stick around for the next 20 months. But you can also, which is what James does, work with one-time offers, upsells, downsells. You can kind of get that money from a certain percentage of people, even if you opt for this monthly subscription thing. So there are ways to get creative without just saying, okay, here's 2 weeks free, or 30 days free trial. Yeah, sure, free trials are great. But if somebody's serious about making progress, they know they're going to be here for longer than 30 days. And if somebody is serious about what they want to get from this, they know that they're not just going to dabble for 30 days. They're going to stay with you for 30 days, and they're going to be grateful that you give them a 30-day access. And they're going to go all the way to the end, right? Because I know I myself have been a dabbler before. And sure, it was exciting to jump from course to course to course to course. But did it help my family's financial stability? Absolutely not. So dabbling is exciting, but I can get that from trying different types of tacos. Like you have to dabble in business.
Sushi.
Exactly.
So, and on that note, here's a hot tip. If you have a membership that has a free trial, when the free trial is about to turn to a paid subscription at day 13 out of 14 or day 29 out of 30, send an email giving them the opportunity to buy the year and still get that discount. It's something you can do as an offer. They didn't take you up on the upsell in the funnel. Give them the opportunity to sign up right there. Because if they're going to sign up for the next 30 days, probably going to keep going for the next year. So give them the opportunity. They'll be grateful. Everybody wins.
Okay.
Boom. All right, guys. Thanks for being with us. Lots of love in the live stream. We're grateful for everyone that's here. We will be back next Thursday with a different topic on the Launch and Prosper podcast.
All right. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.